Hi friends, I'm Mindy with Equine Sketching, and today we're going to sketch a quick sketch of a donkey using some simple tools such as a compressed charcoal pencil, a blending stump, and a kneaded eraser. Okay, use whatever you have available. So don't let the excuse of not having these tools. You can use a pencil, you can use a Q-tip for a blending stump, whatever you have available, and we'll get started. Today I'm going to be sketching on my easel with some newsprint, and we'll just kind of scan here. And then I've also downloaded a picture of a donkey on pixabay.com, a website that you can download free images. And so our image today is of this particular donkey. He is so incredibly handsome, could be she, but I love donkeys. They're so stoic in nature and curious and humorous. I've worked with a few of them, and they're wonderfully humorous and a lot of fun to be around, and they love their humans as well. So today we're going to get drawing on our donkey. I wanted to give you an example of a couple of donkeys that I did with some quick sketches. Now these took a little bit more time because, I added a little bit more detail and a little bit more tone, but for the purposes of today, just get you started and getting out of your head and getting out of perfection mode, we are just going to go over some quick techniques and overall shape to get a donkey onto the paper. But this gives you an idea of what you can do in 10 minutes or so. And I just wanted to share with you a couple of pictures that I did. I'm going to turn the camera this way, and so this is the same donkey that we just saw in the picture. So I did a little bit more tone with him and using just the 3 tools that I stated earlier. And then another one, and I just threw in a couple of little horse heads and did a little bit of layering, but a little bit of tone over the top. So let's get started today with this. And one thing that's really helpful when we get started with sketching is sometimes, especially if we have a picture of an animal, specifically what we're working on today, a donkey, is you can outline the donkey with your index finger. So by outlining the overall shape, it helps you connect your eyes to the motion and learning how to get the shape down. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm actually not going to touch this iPad that I've downloaded the picture on, but I'm going to hover, and I'll give you an idea of just going over the shape and using your shoulder muscles. So it all kind of connects together in our brains and our eyes and our motion by those things combining together and getting the overall shape. So whatever you have available, you can watch and see what we've got going on here as well. So I'm just going to, we're still getting familiar with all of our tools here. But here we have the donkey, and I'm just going to go to the overall shape of the ear and then go over the top, and then just go along the outside. And I'm just getting an overall outline here. Okay, over the top, over, and then I'm coming back over here, and then I can go down and up around the back. All right. So we're going to get started. Just getting that fresh start here. We've got a nice fresh piece of paper. Sometimes that can be intimidating, but don't let it be, because we're just going to learn from our mistakes. So we're going to build on that. So looking at our picture here, I am going to just start with the head, and I'm going to leave enough space here for those big, beautiful, long ears that this donkey has. Love those ears. It's one of the reasons why they're so much fun to sketch, is because of those ears. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a landmark here, little indentations for the eyes. And I won't come in to do the detail until I've finished with the overall shape. And then I'm going to put an approximate area where this donkey's muzzle is, which is basically down here. And then I'm going to come up and go into the cheek and down and around. And I might do a little bit of layering, so my marks are not going to be exact. I might come back over, and a lot of times I'll step back and take a fresh look. This gives you an idea of an overall shape that we got started here, of just a big old oval here as the start. And then here for the muzzle, we're narrowing down here. We might just put a little line here because we've got, this is where it turns light. And we might go a little bit wider here for the nostrils and the muzzle. And we'll come in. Okay. So we've got that overall shape going. And again, we can come over the top. So now I'm going to go into a little bit of the donkey's eyes has a little bit of an overhang here over the top of the eyes. There we go. And now we're going to go into those ears. So again, when we're working on the overall shape, we're not looking at perfection. We're going to come in and we're going to refine as we go. So one way that's really helpful to help learn the donkey's ears is to, the headset, is to draw a little bit of a halo. Those ears come up, and I don't have a lot of paper left here, but by drawing the outside, I'm looking at the reference photo, and I'm looking to see if I've got enough distance between the two and that negative space in between the ears. But I'm going to come along the outside of the ear and then to the inside of the ear, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to create that shape coming up and down and around. Oh my goodness. We've got a little bit going on there. Don't get discouraged if it doesn't look quite right. It's just making those practices, and we're creating wonky donkeys. So that's the whole point, is just to enjoy yourself and the whole process of it. We're going to come back up, and we'll come back in and refine those ears just a little bit as we go. And then I'm going to come in here, and I've got a little tuft, and I'm going to just take a step back and look to see if my proportions are right, as far as if I need to do any little eraser marks here. So I can see that the eyes are set in a little bit closer together, and so I am going to come in and allow that eye. I'm just making landmarks there, and overhang of the top here, and then we're going to come in. I'm going to let loose of that line since we've got that as our outside. We're going to come in and go over. All right. So here we go. All right, we got some great starts into those ears. All right. How are we doing out there? All right, so here I'm just going to lay a little bit of tone down, and I may just use, I have a blending stump here, and it has some charcoal that was previously on there. So I may just do a little bit of tone here just to put some eyes in that area, and then I might use that eraser to pull out the highlights. I kind of like getting that area down a little bit. Now I'm going to add a little bit of tone onto the paper, and if you have a compressed charcoal pencil, you can lay it down onto the top. If not, you can still use whatever you have available. And I'm just going to lay down a little bit of tone. I'm looking at the highlights of the picture here and seeing where it's darkest, and you can do that by squinting, but we've got a little bit of shading going on there, and that gives a nice little bit of depth to the picture. And I am going to add a little bit of tone here for the eyes. They're not going to be perfect. You'll see how we go as we take away with our kneaded magic eraser. And then I am just going to come in here with my charcoal pencil, and this one is soft. let's see what, I'm looking at the soft, fairly soft, so that we get a little bit of color down there. And I'm gonna get those beautiful little tufts of hair. This donkey just looks so personable. And so we're gonna come in a little bit more and go on out. And come in. I'm going to make those lines a little bit darker. Sometimes when you walk away from a picture and get a little bit of fresh perspective, you'll see where you need to make some changes. And a lot of times what happens when you leave the drawing overnight and then you come back in the morning or the next day, whatever the case is, you're like, oh, I can see where that needs to be bigger or smaller, whatever the case is. You don't necessarily have to go in and make those changes, but you learn from being able to step back and take a break from it as well. All right, so I'm just going to come into those ears a little bit and give a little bit more depth into the ears. And I can come in and use my, there we go, there we go. And I am just using this blending stump just to bring a little bit of tone. And I can see in this particular photo that was taken that it's a little bit darker here on the right side of the donkey. That would be the left side if you're looking at it. But you see how we just kind of get a little bit of tone and texture here into the picture. And I'm going to move with the direction of the hair on the donkey. I'm not going to quite get into making those nostrils yet, but all right, so we're here, and then we're going to come here to the outside and create a little bit of overhang, because we can see that in our picture. And I'm going to do, and we always make eyes a little bit bigger than they actually are in equines, although they do have fairly large eyes. But in this particular picture, we don't want it to totally dominate the picture. And I am gonna, he's got some beautiful eyelashes. So I'm coming in a little bit more refined. As you saw that I was using the pencil before, it's pretty loose and relaxed. And I am gonna come a little bit outside here because that is a large kind of area. All right. So I'm gonna come in here and we're gonna come up and in. And then we're going to come over. So you can see how I'm just kind of bringing in a little bit more darkness here by getting a little bit more. And I'm going to take a step back. It looks like I need to widen up this muzzle just a little bit. So I'm just going to come over the top. And I'm looking at where those nostrils are, and they're going to come to the outside. And I'm just going to place that, and then we're going to do this. It's fairly narrow. All right. So we're going to come in here and give it a little bit of extra tone. I'm just going to shade in that whole eye. And then I can take out some highlights. There are some nice, beautiful markings. Wouldn't it be nice to have those beautiful dark eyelashes like these donkeys? They've got some natural eyeliner that sits around their eyes. Lovely. It's fantastic. And then I'm going to come in with my kneaded eraser. And I'm going to do a little bit of a highlight in here. Oops. So I can see, looks like I have some dog hair in here, which, you know, this happens with these pieces. Oh, the dogs will be in some of these videos at some point. But we're going to come in here and just do a little bit of a highlight down there and then come over here. Yeah, let's do that. All right, that looks good. Lovely. All right. getting there. We're getting there. That could be a little bit lower. We're getting there. All right, and then I'm going to bring in a little bit more of an overhang because I can see that that's what's happening. I'm going to do a little, and again, we're not going to get into too much detail, but this gives us an overall idea of how to create a donkey. And I'm going to use that flat piece of charcoal, again, compressed charcoal, and I'm going to dig in a little bit to the inside of the ear where you see it's fairly dark. A little bit of darkness. So there's some hair sticking out here, going in. And then we're going to come down to, and I want the nostrils to be fairly dark here too. So we're going to lay down some tone and see what we got going on. Coming in. All right, so here we are. Ooh, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Just don't worry if it's a little too wonky right now. We're going to use some of that charcoal that we just laid down, and we're going to get it onto your blending stump and add that to that muzzle area. So we can see it's a little darker there. It's got some nice tone. It stays white up around here, but we do have a little bit of darkness. That's the nice thing about using charcoal is you can spread it around. Spread the love. Okay, and we're going in the direction of that. And again, this is a great start to doing a donkey. And perhaps we'll get into some more detail as we go. I thank you for joining me, friends, today. I really appreciate you taking a look and joining me. And this is a great way to get started. So until next time, keep sketching and we'll get better together. Take care.